Welcome back to another Alliance War. This time around, 4 Lokis taking on Legion, LGN-1. And this is not going to be an easy war by any means. Legion has very stacked rosters. Their entire alliance is very strong. I believe they are number 2 for the overall base hero rating. Number 2 on the leaderboard, right behind MMXIV. So yeah, these guys are. This is not going to be an easy war at all. First note up is Enhanced Special 1, Limber and Aggression Fury, meaning I'm going to have to attack frequently enough and aggressively enough to take away all of those Furies, or else I'm going to get one shot by the enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and throw on some boost to start out this war. I'm going to go ahead and put on 15% health, a 20% champion boost, and I'm also going to pop on a 10% attack boost as well. Now, I am also going to use a 3-minute boost. What I've realized is that for these first 3 fights, because they have a little bit less HP than the later fights, I can get through them fast enough that one of these 3-minute boosts will last me for the first 3 fights. So I feel like it's a really efficient use of the 3-minute boost. Alright, first fight is a 6-star Gladiator Hulk, and Gladiator Hulk is not that bad of an enemy. I was actually pretty happy to see him here on this node versus some of the other options that people might put on this node. But I quickly realized that, man, this guy has so many buffs and debuffs because of everything that Void applies and because of just what's on the node itself, that I can't see when he actually gains his smash buff. So the smash buff, it's a yellow icon that has like a fist symbol, and I just can't tell. I can't tell. So a lot of times I'm kind of hanging back whenever he throws a special, because that's when he can gain it. Right there, I just don't go in at all. And then you're gonna see the next time it's the opposite that happens. I'm like, you know what? I can't see. I'm just gonna try to attack anyway. And sure enough, he had smash up that time. So yeah, it's a little bit weird, man. Like, watching the playback, it's not that difficult to see, but when you're in the moment and when you only have so much time to react to what the enemy's doing, and your window of opportunity on his attacks is, you know, it's not the tightest of all the champions, but it's still, you don't have that much time to react. To try to watch for that buff amidst all the other buffs and debuffs, it was actually pretty tough. Alright, I'm going to pop a couple potions here before I enter this fight. It's a 5-star mutant champion on Bane and Stun Immune, and it turns out it's Iceman. So it was a really good thing that I popped this this regen boost. I had no idea that it was Iceman on this node before doing that, actually, so it worked out really well. I mean, between willpower and that regen boost, you know, cold snap is like, what cold snap? There is no cold snap. So it works out really well. Get a pretty decent Bane transfer, bait out the L1, and I just need to bait the L1 one more time if he's willing to throw it, and then I can transfer Bane back on him, but he's not doing it, so I'm taking a little bit of Bane damage here, and finally get it transferred back over to him. I could have done a 5-hit combo, followed by the special one. That would have closed it out a little bit faster than I did there. Took an unnecessary risk by baiting out the heavy one. That was just an error on my part. I didn't realize exactly how low he was, and that I could have finished out the fight one combo earlier. Alright, you can see here with Scatter Lens, this is a 565 champion, and after checking the profile, it was Blade, so I knew it was going to be Blade for this fight. And Void is a pretty good counter against Blade here. There's no way for him to have danger senses, even though Void is a villain, just because these synergies do not work on defense. So, you know, I'm all set there. I just need to make sure that I don't get myself parried. And I played this fight maybe a little too safe. Normally, you know, if you watch past videos where I'm fighting against Blade, I will evade the last couple bullets on his L2 and then take that opportunity to attack into him and you know, punish that opening that it gives me off the L2, and that's where I get a lot of my hits in. I don't really like to bait out the special one. I will mostly bait out the L2 or bait heavy attacks to get my openings, and the reason why I didn't really try to punish the L2 this time around is I just came out of you know, a recent fight before I was doing you know, before I started recording for this war, where I tried to punish this L2 and it happened twice in a row that I might have just been like just a tiniest bit too late and actually got myself parried against him. So I was like, you know what? Let's just play it super safe and not even try to punish the L2. I don't need to take that unnecessary risk. I do mess up and actually, you know, take some bleed damage by the L2 there. That was definitely a mistake. But the rest of it, where I was kind of not taking every opportunity, not taking every opening that was given to me. That was totally intentional. Sometimes it's better just to play it safe, take that chip damage. I don't need to do anything fancy. I'm not looking to finish every single fight with full HP. I don't care about that. All I care about is that I get through my path with the least possible risk of death. That is the goal here, is to not die. I don't mind using some of these potions. You know, if I have to. They just come from the Glory Store anyway. I'm not, actually haven't spent any units on potions, luckily, this season yet. I'm sure it'll happen if Void dies here. I mean, he's got 50,000 HP. If he dies, it's a lot of potions to heal up, and then I might have to dip into the units. But for now, I don't mind using a couple extra potions on these fights. Alright, now this is a 565 Modok on the Buffet mini-boss, and I was a little bit worried about this one. I haven't tried fighting Modok on this node yet, so I do go ahead and pop on a 3-minute power start boost, just so that I can make sure that I can you know, get a debuff going. I didn't know, you know, it's not that easy to land specials against Modok all the time with the way that his auto block works, so I wanted to make sure that I can, you know, start the fight with a special, and hopefully that degen damage and just you know, being able to get Fear of the Void up quicker, or those petrified debuffs, you know, more realistically. Those are the ones that I want up as quick as possible, just to, you know, shorten the fight a little bit. It's not that I really needed the Power Star 1 boost, it's just, you know, this is the first time fighting this guy. I didn't know how it was going to go. In the future, I will likely not use a Power Star boost, because you're going to see here the fight. It's not that bad. It's you know, there's certainly easier fights than I could have had. I don't really necessarily want to see Modok here, but it wasn't that bad overall to where I would need a Power Star boost. Didn't do all that much for me. Now there are a few times where I probably could have got an extra L1 in there, but like I said, with you know, the way that Modok works, I don't want him auto blocking my specials. And the L2 actually has a little bit of a faster animation, so you're going to see me try to throw an L2 here, just to see if that would connect a little bit easier. And it connected. I don't know if the actual casting speed had anything to do with it. It looked like it was still slow enough that if the auto block came up quick enough that he would have blocked it. But whatever. I mean, the point is it worked. And when you have a Fear of the Void debuff on them already, the you know, the debuffs from the L2, they do a good enough job anyway. They help, you know, go towards the healing reduction with the Despair Mastery, and, you know, the debuffs themselves, so of course they're dealing a little bit of damage as well, so I don't necessarily mind doing that. Spamming Special 1 is still the way to go, but every once in a while you throw an L2, it's not such a bad idea. Alright, now we have a Tech Champion on, I think this is node 38, right? And I never know what Tech Champion's going to be here. Labyrinth Ultron is the champion I see most commonly, but this could be an Infinity Man. This could be the other Ultron. I have no clue. And turns out it is Ultron from Labyrinth. So, okay. Same as I've done in past wars. I'm going to try to play this very carefully to play around his evade. Now that he threw the evade, I can go into a full 5-hit combo, throw the special 1. It was very convenient that the 3-minute boost was still on from the last fight, just to make this a little bit faster, because this is a little bit of a slow fight with having to play around that evade. So yeah, just taking my time with it. I probably should have thrown the L1 there. There was still enough time on his last evade that I could have threw the L1, so that was a little bit of a mistake. But at the end of the day, it's not one of the mistakes that could potentially cost me the fight or anything like that. So I'm just tapping him as he's stunned, and when he's not stunned, only doing one hit and backing away to try to trigger that evade. I think when you have the anti-evade debuff on him, I think it actually complicates things, oddly enough. You know, in a past video, I said I was trying to get that debuff on him, but you know, now that I think about it, I think it complicates things. I kind of just want him to evade, because I think the way it works is if you have one of those debuffs that's canceling his evade, if you have one of those debuffs active, and the timing, you know, it's every, I think, 7 seconds that he goes to evade or something like that. If on that, you know, 7th second when you attack into him and he doesn't evade because of that debuff, then you know, I think it needs another 7 seconds before it could happen again. It would be cool if Kabam did an update where, you know, it would tell you a little gray text would pop up saying evade failed or something like that, kind of like the way they do with auto block failed for auto block champions, because I think that's what's going on there, but it's always so hard to tell. Alright, just going to pop a 15% health boost here. We have 5-star Mutant Champion on the Arc Overload Recovery node, and I don't know who's going to be here. I went through the list of Mutant Champions that I could possibly be, and it turns out it's Goldpool. Okay, no problem. We got ourselves a little Goldpool here. Just got to make sure not to get hit by the special one. Now, last time I fought Goldpool in War, I actually tried to attack after, I think it was his second medium attack, and I got parry stunned. So I remembered that because you don't fight Goldpool all that often, and I remember that fight very well. Costing me a few potions. It didn't die, but it cost me a few potions. So I'm not taking that risk here. There's a couple of openings that I could have had, but yeah, why would I even just take the risk of getting parried at all? I'm just playing it super safe. You know, getting the openings after his L1 or parrying, and yeah, just kind of rinse and repeat that whole process. I got a whole bunch of debuffs, so he's taking a lot of degen. Fear the Void is now active. Gonna hit him with the L1. Let's hope it's Petrify. And it's not Petrify, but that's alright. He's still suffering a whole bunch of degen as a result, and Goldpool is down. Just one of those diversity type champions. I don't think the other team actually thought that Goldpool was gonna get a kill there, but you know, you gotta throw in whatever you can. Alright, we've got ourselves a Sabertooth. Seems very common for other teams to put Sabertooth on this node. I see Sabertooth here so frequently. Has it been? It hasn't been every single war, has it? Because it certainly feels like it's been every single war for the season. I don't know. I can't remember any other champions that I've seen here. I just know that I fought Sabertooth a lot. This Sabertooth fight, it's probably not one of my cleaner fights against Sabertooth on this node, but it still goes well enough. Now, he has one Petrify debuff up, and because of Strike Back and the way Petrify works, he would actually only gain half of a bar of power, so I kind of messed up here, and this is going to slow the fight down. I did not intentionally mean to get to 3 bars of power here like I have in past videos. I'm still well enough on the right side of the screen that I would have liked to throw at least one L1 before holding for a special 3. So that slowed things down a little bit, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter all that much. As soon as I get the second Petrify up, all of his healing is going to be stopped and reversed, so just waiting for that second Petrify debuff. And I do have the L3 here, just in case I do get cornered. And actually, I just go ahead and pop it now, just to give myself that distance. This fight's going to go on for a little bit longer here. Just want to make sure that I have enough distance. So yeah, going to go ahead and do that. Now, I do make a little bit of a mistake later on in this fight where I push him to an L2. That's really the other thing that I wasn't happy about in this fight, where I like to keep him to his L1. The L1 is just, it's much easier to evade in my opinion. The L2, you're going to just see me block it just straight up. This is the last fight of the war. I don't care about the chip damage from the L2. It's not even all that much because I'm running Resonate and because of Inequity. Pay attention to the damage that it deals. It should be coming up pretty soon here that he gets his L2, and just watch how much damage that it's going to do to me, because it's really not that bad at all. So yeah, it was about 2 500 hits and a 2000, so about 3000 damage in total. Not that bad, really not that bad. So I don't mind eating that damage, blocking it, versus trying to evade it and suffering the consequences of if I failed to evade it. Alright, that is going to do it for this war. That is my contributions, at least. Legion, we actually beat these guys. I was very surprised, since when I went to sleep after clearing my path, I think they still were at 0 deaths. When I woke up, it was pretty close. In fact, it was, you know, about tied up, and then towards the end we just barely pulled ahead and were able to close it out. Few silly deaths on both sides, so yeah, you know, both teams, both alliances could have done a little bit better, but you know, at the same time, there were some very difficult fights that some of my alliance mates clutched out in the end. So very proud of 4Loki overall, And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.